Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri 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 Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Pranam, pranam to everybody.
Hari Om Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam, pranam.
Pranam Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Pranam Swamiji.
Yesterday we were talking about self-surrender, but Papa slowly directing our attention towards that. To always keep the name of God on the lips or in the mind is not the whole thing in the matter of God remembrance. Constant repetition of the name ultimately takes you to the consciousness of God, wherein remembrance of Him as such ceases. Thereafter, you maintain a steady consciousness of the indwelling reality. Self-surrender denotes this supreme state. Elsewhere he says, when we keep on trying, naturally all of us will be prompted. Oh, I have to do this, I have to chant the name, I have to stop, I have to do the mental chanting, all those things, naturally that feeling will be there. We do not know that feeling is the handicap. So that is why we are cautioned here. When we sit silently, we have to be conscious in the first place that the God we seek is in our own heart. Then mentally repeat His name. Make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease and it becomes perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, we have to continue the repetition of the name mentally with an attitude of self-surrender. What does it mean? First we have to know He is within. Then we mentally chant His name. And we have to keep on chanting the name until the wave ceases and it becomes still. If it does not easily become still, We have to continue the repetition of the name mentally with an attitude of self-surrender. What is it that Papa means, so that when we sit and do it, it might help us. So this word self-surrender is very important. What could it mean?
Self is there in everybody, and surrender how it comes. Surrender also is simultaneous. Then the question of self-surrender, how it exists, comes.
What is self-surrender? No? We are trying to understand. This self-surrender is,
Yes.
it is small s, SELF hyphen surrender. Small s, not the big S.
Oh. Yes, Swamiji.
That means I am trying to still the mind,
Yes.
With the help of mental chanting, as a sadhaka or a devotee, I may be thinking that I am now trying to still the mind. That means the self has not been surrendered.
We have to keep chanting without bothering about thoughts. Let them come. Just we keep chanting. Only we should have said that he is making us to chant. We are not chanting by ourselves.
All these things are there, but still you and I you have got freedom, democratic freedom to choose any path. But what we are trying to understand is, what could he mean? I'm trying to still my mind, but by myself I cannot do it. I have tried, not only 1 day or 2 days. I have been trying with the feeling that I am trying, and it has not helped me. And now I know that it will not help me. Please step in and enable me to feel that I exist because of you. Then I will not ask anything. Even the question of doing sadhana, that self-surrender has not taken. If I say I am doing this, I am doing that. So this has to be practiced not only during that period. It will not come. So during our day's activities, wherever and whenever it is possible, if we try to cultivate a system of thought in us, where we try to bring in, you are behind the thought. Without you, there is no thought, there is no word, there is no deed. And for your own Leela, you are making me to feel that I have to do the sadhana. I don't know the reason. When you are all full and you are within me, still you make me feel incomplete, insufficient, and then prompts me to take up some activity which you have made me to know as sadhana. So the crux is, I am doing, that show. Make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease and to become perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, we have to continue the repetition of the name, as you said, with an attitude of self-surrender. Otherwise, for ages we have been doing, We just look back. Whatever at the moment he makes us to think, it is this, it is that. Many of us or most of us have been doing it. But whether the stilling of the mind has been done or not, we don't know. Only that person will know. So here he gives one more clue. Though it is an innocent word, when we sit silently, we have to be conscious in the first place that the God we seek is in our own heart, number one. Then mentally repeat his name, make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease and it becomes perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, we have to continue the repetition of the name mentally with an attitude of self surrender. Okay. Next he says, we try to develop a witness consciousness. It is a state of awareness of the immortal and radiant truth within us. He explained about stilling the mind. When the stilling the mind takes place, what happens? So the witness, witness consciousness, not witnessing, witness consciousness. Stilling the mind. So first we sit and then keep on hammering. The one which you make me to seek is within me. And to feel your presence, I am now taking mental chanting. And then, if still the mind goes out, if the feeling comes that the mind still goes out, immediately say, you have given me an idea that I should move toward the stillness of the mind. I'm trying, but I'm not successful. Please step in. Hold my hand and guide me. And then what happens? Then the praying entity is not there. No. The feeling that we are aspiring to still the mind is not there. And what remains is the witness consciousness. And then one more step. We try to develop a witness consciousness. It is a state of awareness of the immortal, radiant truth within us. In fact, this awareness itself is God realization. This particular words of Papa, it is purely for contemplation only, not for charcha. Because nothing has to come from outside. It is purely an internal matter. Reading okay, hearing. Then that is only 5%. 95% is trying to practice. No shortcut. Academically, we can say first we should know we are chanting the name of one who is within us. And in order to raise my level of concentration from the vocal to the mental, I should switch on and keep on trying it. At the same time, this particular method of mental chanting is attempted to still the mind. Mind is nothing but thought flow. So thoughts are to be arrested. With the thought, we cannot arrest the thought flow. So he is employing a different method. So mental chanting should ultimately. So when the mind refuses to cooperate with us, we immediately again come back and pray to him. Please step in. Please step in. Up to this I have followed. Beyond this I am unable to follow. Intellectually I know I can't follow. So please step in and take hold of me. And then what happens? That happens. So for enabling us to intellectually understand, he puts the word witness consciousness. And that itself is God realization. When we practice and come back, we practice and come back. When we practice and come back, probably a stage might come when the witness consciousness is ever with us. Not that it is coming and going. So when we come back to the level of thoughts again, we try to interpret it to our own mind, Hey, wait, you are bringing out one more thought. You are coming from that source. So when we take to Nama chanting, if these things are somewhat clear in our mind, our progress will be fast. So these four sentence. When we sit silently, we have to be conscious in the first place that the God we seek is in our own heart. Then mentally repeat his name. Make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease and it becomes perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, we have to continue the repetition of the name mentally with an attitude of self-surrender. That is the limit, up to which this small self can travel as a sadhaka. Beyond that, no, it has no entry. We have only the tool called the mind to understand, So beyond that, we cannot be explained. Still mind or pure mind is no mind, And then what comes out of it is the witness consciousness, not witness of. It's a consciousness. It has been, the attribute is witness consciousness. Sarvadi Sakshi Bhudam. And that is God realization. A state of awareness of the immortal, radiant truth within us. When we try to understand it at the sadhaka's level, we can imagine how Papa had scaled the heights, and then for the sake of all of us, he brings it out to the extent possible, no? Beyond that, nobody can help us, nobody can follow, because it is beyond the boundary of thoughts. So if the mind has to now, we are asking ourselves, we are also chanting, we are also mentally chanting, but this state we don't feel that we have reached. Why? Then suddenly, Papa's another word comes and guides us. Outer activity should be compatible with inner aspiration. All our outer activities, not merely in Bashram, Bhajan Hall or Samadhi Mandir, or in temple, or in front, in the presence of saints. No. Outer activities, right from the moment we get up in the morning till we retire to bed, outer activity should be compatible with the inner aspiration. Inner aspiration is to reach this state. Is it somewhat clear to everybody?
Yes, Swami, yes.
சுவாமிஜி
Hmm.
புரிஞ்ச மாதிரியும் இருக்கு புரியாத மாதிரியும் இருக்கு
புரிஞ்சும் அது அப்படி வருமே அது நேச்சுரல். Because however much we try, the stillness of the mind cannot be explained, இல்லையா?
It should be felt.
Because mind cannot enter that realm. We can only travel with the ideas up to that area, and there is no entry there. So we try to train ourselves to reach that boundary, and from there the journey takes us to this. Even that word is not right. The journey makes us to feel full.
In other words, if there is no total surrender, you will not get that line. In other words, if you don't absolutely surrender to the situation, you will not get that line to continue.
If we are limiting only to a particular object or particular time,
Yes, sir.
then we may not. So unless throughout the day, that is why outer activity should be compatible with inner aspiration. So what are to be followed? Why my mind is restless? Why it is not becoming still? It is because of some tendency I have developed, some craving, some infatuation, some down-pulling tendency. That is why the mind is restless. So unless and until I start purifying, bringing him into the picture, why are you giving me this?
Oh.
Papa also had the same thing. He said, why are you making me to feel that? Disturbing
Taking
the...
objection.
Huh?
Taking objection.
Then immediately, intuitively he hears,
Yeah.
why are you separating me?
Yeah.
So then the so-called disturbed mind feels that is also his. Then the disturbance as such goes. Just like he said, the remembrance as such goes.
Yeah.
Because remembering, the more we think about it, it becomes clear.
Yeah.
Remembering means what we have understood is one is there to remember the other, no?
Yes.
So the subject object will be there. So the when the fusion takes place, there cannot be remembrance as such.
There will be no two then.
To them.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Bah.
very deep
Papa goes to the,
சுவாமிஜி
Ah.
நம்ம உள் மனசுல எல்லாம் நீதான் பண்ணாக்குறாய் அப்படின்னு அந்த அந்த ஃபீலிங்கோட நம்ம செய்யறதுல அந்த வாட் யூ சேட் தட் நம்ம கொஞ்சமான எத்த முடியுமா? எவ்ரி டைம் தட் தாட் ஷுட் பி நம்ம மனசுக்கு வருது.
எனக்கு தோணலை because these two statements we have to keep on doing it. Outer activity should be compatible with inner aspiration. Should be compatible. He did not give us any. He did not say it can be. So that means the moment I get up in the morning till I retire to bed, whatever I think, whatever I talk, whatever I do, whether it is in line with this, if it is aligned to the me and mine, and suppose I sit and I am in a position to concentrate, again I find the mind is restless. But suppose I try to do that, to purify, that means moving from me to we and we to him. He says, what does he say? Think not in terms of individual. First article. Think not in terms of individual, but always in terms of universal. Do everything for the sake of God. Then your egocence will vanish. You will realize you are the universal spirit, changeless, eternal, infinite. This is your goal. So that means it is not a compartmentalized activity. We become spiritual and we feel, we feel we are moving towards spirituality in a particular context, in a particular place, in a particular time. No. Unless this goes, and everything that I do, everything that I think,
24 hours.
24 hours, at least waking state. Waking state. So we will try to do as much as possible, no? That is practically 20. So 18 hours, suppose we have got it may not be possible. Mind will not, at this age, will not. So as much as possible. You are there. Okay, then you forget, we talk, we write, telephone comes in, okay. Again we are back for a few pause moment. Insert.
So that self-realization cannot be continuous.
Eh?
It shall be intermittent.
Eh?
The self-realization cannot be
continuous, it will be intermittent.
continuous. It
No,
will
no,
be
no, no,
intermittent.
no, that is not. Self-realization, when once we get, it is there.
Yes.
The other one is, what we are trying to get is the different steps. The moment this witness consciousness is directly experienced, it stays with us forever. Even now when we are talking, when the hand is moving, when the eyes are moving around, in the back of it, it is there, it is only there. So it is not intermittent. What is intermittent is the mind interprets that experience,
Yes.
Sattvic mind. But the mind is still there,
Mind sometimes
self-surrender is very important, that word, because all these things are talking and hearing and questioning, all these goings on at the small self level. So when the self tries to understand that it exists only because of that power, then always the clerical brain, the subservient attitude. Whether it is possible, people like us, we don't have to doubt this, because whether it is possible, yes, Papa's Life is a concrete example for us. He did not straight away come from the sky. He was leading an ordinary life like all of us. He was a family man, he was a professional man, he was a social man. It is not that he started practicing right from day one of his entry into the world. No, he also led an ordinary life. Absolutely not following the normal pattern of what do you call, an aspirant or a sadhaka. Till 1920. 1884 he was born. So 36 years he had his own, like what you and I did. And then in the 22 years, 20 to 22, he brought about this transformation in himself, wherein the I realized that it exists only because of him. That's why he could say to Father, God is making him chant the name. So he was very clear. Many of us are still finding it difficult because we are not very clear about that, the word God, how he is within me. Because we are trying to bring him within the confines of a thought. And it can never give us the satisfaction.
See, Papa was in the grip of grace. He was in the grip of grace.
Papa was in the grip of grace.
That is what it is possible. Otherwise, it won't be possible.
Again, when we use the word grace, we should not confuse that it is coming from outside. Somebody bless us, we get it. No, that is what normally we say grace. That is how we understand. Some of our experience also authenticate that. Suppose we are in trouble, we go to a saint, we ask for blessings, and it might be heard. So our understanding of grace or blessings from outside, that is unknowingly strengthened in our mind. But when Papa clarifies, grace is something is always pouring, only we are not aware of it. That will give us some clarity. So we will not seek. Grace, remembrance, darshan all mean one and the same. He used to say that. So now these are the practical clues he has given. As sadhakas, we have been doing it. We have got faith in Ramnam. We are trying to practice it. Probably we would not have given much attention for this mental chanting. Nowadays, that is also officially now introduced here in Bhajan Hall. 15 minutes in line with Papa's direction. That mental chanting is far more efficacious than vocal chanting. We go to Samadhi Mandir doing, to what extent we will be able to concentrate on this aspect, we don't know. A lot of distraction will be there. But then why are we doing it? We are doing it to practice chanting. And some of us might be able to, because this was not there. We should not confuse that this has been there right from 1931. There was only one place, Ashram Bhajan Hall, where Ramnam chanting was going on. In Samadhi Mandir of Papa, it will be purely mental chanting. Purely. Not a sound, no arati, no image, nothing will be there. So we go there and then in our own way we try to dwell on it mentally. In our case, whenever we come here, we take this small book in our pocket. We go there, read for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the speaks or glimpses or any book, sayings. And then we start contemplating. Then at that time, suppose we feel sleepy or the mind is going elsewhere, we immediately get up and do pradakshina. Silently pradakshina. No sound will be there. After say 5 or 6 rounds, again we come back and sit. We were not told that you should not sit for more than half an hour or something else. Nobody will say anything. Then we come back. This facility was there till 88. And that is what Mataji meant by Papa Samadhi. She said, this is a place for going within. If you remember the word, meditation. In December 1963 vision, she has mentioned this. And we were all coming, okay? So we used to come. There are only two places. One is in Bhajan Hall, and this individual sadhana is there. And in 68, we vividly remember when we were here for 2 months, Mataji used to take us for this program.
To that place.
11 to 11:30. They will all sit, Mataji and ladies will
All
sit.
the devotees follow Mataji.
We all follow Mataji. At that time, suddenly we will also go and they will sit there, silent person, half an hour, and then come back. So the Ramnam chanting, vocal chanting only here. And that place for entering into this mental chanting or whatever, stilling the mind, whatever you feel like, Later on, when we started, compiling all these things from different places, and when we put it, then only it became very clear to us, this is what Papa meant. And this we have started and we cannot stop it now. So the only alternative is to bring all these things in the books and then practice it to the extent possible. So we started in this room, then people were more, then somebody suggested why not we have it in the Centenary Hall. Then again somebody suggested when you are having this activity, so many people are coming. In Bhajan Hall nobody is there. Why don't you have it in Bhajan Hall? So we moved there. So now that is why 6:40 we go there, 6:45 we reach. By the time the Pahatechari is over, that is the last one in the Guru Stuti, and then immediately we start vocal chanting. Because the person who has been doing it with the devotion for years now together, we don't want to disturb that, so we let him be. Here our chanting is to prepare our mind. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. So that maximum, the gap between the two words, the gap between one chanting and another becomes tangible, feasible, experienceable. What do you say that? Palpable. It can be understood. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. I may not be able to understand. Oh, gap. Shri, gap. So Papa is driving us to the stillness, The stillness is there in between. So we try to become conscious of the stillness while chanting.
The same rhythm is formed in initiation also. Initiation time also. Rhythm, same rhythm.
Actually, that is another problem here. Papa did not give anything on initiation. Mataji started using this for initiation. Because he was talking about the sweetness of Ramnam. And when he was talking, he said, for the time being, you may be chanting anything, you will also chant Ramnam and enjoy the bliss of it, that's all. Actually, he did not say this is meant for initiation. So when Mataji started using it, we are not disturbing it, we will continue to do that. But we try to give so many, because it doesn't convey the whole thing. And here, because unconventional, there is nothing called initiation as such. Because there is nothing conventional. In other place, initiation means elaborate process will be there. Here, nothing like that.
Ritualistic kind.
Ah. So that limitation is there. So what can we do? So when we started hearing this initiation, we were discussing with Puja Swamiji also. Can we have Papa's Namanam with the real meaning of this thing? And he said, okay, we did try. He made an attempt, and that was the beginning. And then we put Papa's for. But some elderly people said, no, let us save Papa's only. Then Swamiji said, it's all right. What is needed is chanting. So what can we do without, see, when once something has become a habit, Papa himself has brought it out beautifully in one of his articles. It is nice to hear that article. A very important article, but very difficult to implement even in ashram. The true spiritual perfection lies along the path of your own inherent nature. You have to develop your individual uniqueness so that the divine power and glory may be revealed in you, expressing themselves in an original way. You ought to be a creator of new thoughts and actions. Control C, Control V. When you are walking on the path of the divine, you are fired with the zeal of adventure and you go to meet the goal of your quest according to your own inborn nature. So it varies from person to person. So there can't be any general prescription, individual prescription. Crucial, no? We are now following, To some extent we can follow. Then afterwards we are following only to know what is my stock, and I should go along with my stock.
Ultimately.
I am trying to follow with somebody's stock. I will not reach anywhere. Naturally, Bluntly, he will say that. You ought to be. You have to develop your individual uniqueness so that the divine power and glory may be revealed in you, expressing themselves in an original way. You ought to be a creator of new thoughts and actions. When you are walking on the path of the divine, you are fired with the zeal of adventure and you go to meet the goal of your quest according to your own inborn nature. Sadhana consists, what is sadhana? Sadhana consists in removing the obstacles that are found in your nature. When I am trying somebody's nature, that is my real sadhana. That is the problem I am facing. so that you can spontaneously reveal the eternal truth of your being. This is sadhana. Sadhana is to remove the hurdles which I have put on myself. Hearing.
Then what about faith on Guru? What about faith on Guru?
You hear full, then start thinking. Again you are asking, you are asking outside. You have to ask. But asking and trying to get the answer from yourself. Because if somebody answers, it is somebody's answer, not my answer. And then, sadhakas receive inspiration and guidance from great souls and scriptures. But they should be warned against mere imitation. The world judges, this is Papa comes to our level, no? The world judges the lives illumined with divine radiance by common tests and standards. Suppose both of us go to the town, I will be treated as something different. He will be treated as something different. That's what Papa says. The world judges the lives illumined with the divine radiance by common tests and standards. It expects that they should all cast in the same mold and act in the same manner. You are asked to do a particular thing or not to do it because some great saint in the past did or did not do. If you express your creativity, you are told you have departed from the traditional path. Who says? Papa departed from the traditional path. That is why he could say that authenticately. Sadhakas receive inspiration and guidance from great souls and scriptures, but they should be warned against mere imitation. The world judges the lives illumined with the divine radiance by common tests and standards. It expects that they should all be cast in the same mold and act in the same manner, which will never happen. No, only we can read and we can talk. It has never happened, it will never happen. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is not Vivekananda. Yeah. Anybody, you can say that. Papa is not Mataji. Simple, no? So then we try to, correct. Each one is bringing out in their own way. But at the same time, we want to follow common, no? Common. So while following the common guidelines, we should also cut out our own paths. You see, the pearl fish receives the raindrop and dives down into the sea, and after some time produces a pearl of rare brilliance. It goes inside. There is a creation, unique, original. A tree bears innumerable fruits, each fruit having its own quality, shape and taste. You behold countless stars shining in the sky, and on close examination you discover that each one of them has its own peculiar luster and beauty. So also, among human beings, there is a variety of natures and temperaments, each being born with distinctly unique characteristics. Again, the mistake is to squeeze life, into a set and traditional mold, instead of permitting to expand and manifest its splendor in its own way. The object of sadhana is to release life from limitations with which it is bound. The object of sadhana is to release life from limitations with which it is bound. It's a process of elimination of the impurities, stiffness, narrowness that have clogged your being, and the revealment of the divine knowledge, power and love, so that you may shine as a unique expression of truth. So this should not be lost sight of. To what extent we can practice, it depends upon His grace. So we seek His grace now, okay. You say grace is pouring on me, I am not aware. Even for that I need your help, And this is authenticated by another word of his. God does not need any intermediary.
Swamiji,
Ah,
bari satya Sadguru Krupa.
ah. That we all mistake that when we hear that bhajan, it is coming from outside. Kripa, as Swami Ramtirtha has beautifully mentioned, Kripa can be understood, grace can be understood by that simple explanation. I remember you, O Lord, because you remembered me first. That is grace. I remember you, O Lord, because you remembered me first. That means without your remembrance, I cannot remember you also.
Which means God induces the devotee.
Eh?
God induces the devotee to remember God.
Correct. God induces the devotee to remember him. God makes him unaware of his presence, and he finds joy in the devotee again asking him.
Yeah. So, it's a miracle, like.
We can take him into task seriously.
Like a grandfather giving a chocolate to his grandchild and taking little from him back. That is the job.
This is very difficult, but as a sadhaka, we now try to pool all these and then watch our stock. And according to that stock, we try to reshape our methodology. When we know this methodology is not paying, what should I try? We do that every day. Even with the computer, when you want to bring out something, no, the mind says, no, that's not right. Again. And when you can't go, you ask somebody who has got experience, they will come and say, you do this? Then immediately it gets clear. So that's why satsang.
That means self is judging the uniqueness of the self itself.
What, uncle?
Self is judging the uniqueness of self itself.
Child is?
Self.
Self is
Judging the uniqueness.
Self is judging the uniqueness of the self.
But we should reach that stage, to declare that. Now it is the small self,
Yes.
However much it tries, it cannot upgrade itself to the full self, because the moment the upgradation comes, this fellow is not there.
Yes.
Judging the uniqueness of self itself.
Yes.
Self is judging the uniqueness of self.
Uddharet atmanatmanam. That is why he says in Bhagavad Gita, by yourself, you are your own enemy, you are your own friend. Only by yourself you can upgrade yourself. That means what? Nothing from outside. Clearly he is mentioned. You are
Unique software. Upgradation by oneself. Unique software.
Unique
She's saying
software.
unique software.
Upgrading ourselves.
This is a
unique software.
Because it upgrades by itself.
Yeah, it's a beautiful word. It's a beautiful word, unique software, which is reserved only for a few people.
Only for one person.
Yeah, might be, because that might be the idea. Suppose you go to anything and you open something, suppose they will say one time OTP. They give you in 1 second or 2 seconds or 1 minute, you have to type it out. That's all, finished. Your level of concentration, memory, everything weighs a lot. And afterwards, when you suppose you forget this OT, what was the OT? By the time it is gone.
Everything is
Like unique, what is it? Unique software. It's a unique. Where from that person got? Only from this. Unless you are so sharp, so committed, you cannot remember that OTP. Recently, when we were in Kotagiri, Kripesh from office telephoned. He wanted some, our signature something. So he said, now there will be an OTP, immediately you have to please. By the time, the time, 1 minute, everything was over. When we reached there, no. So again, I said, sorry. Then again he came on the line and told the people, and then we were alert, immediately got it, and then did. And then they confirmed, yes, everything is in order, it has been approved. So that OTP is only for a short time and not for everybody. Unique. It is unique.
One time.
One time unique.
only for me.
Only for me. That is unique.
It's only for 3 minutes.
Only for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. ठीक है. So now all these things we know, no? So he is releasing he is giving us, in 1 minute you have to do, 2 minutes you have to do.
Yes.
But we have forgotten the OTP, and still we are doing, that's all. So try to pull all these ideas, and then let us all try to improve our quality of our sadhana. Today he has given us a lot of ideas, just for a recap, he said self-surrender is necessary. Self-surrender can come only when we should know he is within us. The second step is we should start mentally chanting. And the purpose of chanting is to set at rest all the thought waves. When it is not happening, we again repeat, I am unable to do so, please help me. And then we try to develop the witness consciousness. That means not that we are trying, it how to say that? It leads to witness consciousness. When that OTP, when we answer, it leads to, immediately it opens up. Similarly, when this self-surrender takes place, that is an OTP, correct. Because it's how to do this self-surrender, nobody has got any idea, no? We want to do that. It will be revealed to us for a short time, and then immediately we have to do it. By the time, we think or allow the thing, again it got diffused, the earnestness, concentration goes. Again we are back to square one. So the self-surrender is such a very important word, and when we pass through that OTP test, then the result is witness consciousness. Witness consciousness itself is God realization. These are his powerful words, very powerful words. So we try now.
Swamiji,
Ah,
will that be permanent witness consciousness once we get that?
why should we doubt his words?
I'm sorry.
100% guarantee,
சுவாமிஜி
Ah,
நம்மெல்லாம் இல்ல நாங்க இப்போ இந்த ஈவினிங்ஸ் ஆஃப் லைஃப்ல இருக்கோமே,
ஆமாம்
அதனால மனசுக்குள்ள ஒரு ரெஸ்ட்லெஸ் ஃபீலிங்கும் வருது.
ஆமாம் நேச்சுரல்
இது
natural. But we take shelter under Papa's one assurance,
எஸ் சுவாமிஜி.
that whatever we do, it will not go in vain. So whether he wants us to realize us before the body gets dropped, it will not go in vain. So now he has facilitated to dwell on this and try in our own way. And in between, suppose he makes us to drop our body, in the next birth he will definitely take us to that. We don't have to be complacent, but at the same time, this assurance is there. Nothing will go in vain.
Somewhere in justice, I think Papa has written it is like a fire. If we touch fire, we will be burned. So once we start our sadhana, it will continue.
Okay, let us dwell upon all these thoughts and continue with our sadhana, what he prompts us from within. Hari Om. Very lively. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 Om Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam, pranam. Namaskar, namaskar, namaskar. Namaskar, namaskar. Pranam, 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 pranam. Hari, Hari, Hari.
If Gauri Shankar ji and Padmaji do not talk, it looks like empty.
If Gauri Shankar uncle and Padma ji do not talk, it looks very empty.
On behalf of Gauri prompts something. It is not that they are telling, he's prompting, to make it lively.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂದು ಪೇಡ್ ಇದೆ